Hi Minu, hi everyone, good morning.
Hi, Shauna. Good morning. Hi, everyone.
Good morning.
I think we are good to go, Minu, whenever you are ready.
Yes, yes. In 1 minute, we can get started because
Sure.
people are still joining in. I think we can get started. It's 9:02 already, IST. Okay, so I will now share my screen. So, all of you, how are you guys doing? So this is our second session, and from this session, we are going to be completely technical, discussing about all the technical aspect. Now, because there are so many people around, so I request all of you to please be on mute. If there is anything that you want to share or ask, please write on the chat window. Okay. So first of all of you, please be on mute. Okay. Now, can I get some response on the chat? How is it going, guys? I hope you all are logged in with your account and you are able to see your learning plan, your modules that you are doing. Okay, we are doing great. Perfect. Great, guys. So, yes, we are going to do a lot of technical discussions in this whole journey, and that is going to start from today. So let me quickly share my screen first. Okay, I think I can. And let me also open my chat window. Just 1 minute. Okay, my chat window is also open. Yes. Now, guys, first of all, welcome all of you to preparation of Associate Cloud Engineer Journey. Now, this is week number 2, and in that we are going to discuss module 1, which is setting up the cloud solution. Okay. So, in the last session, I talked about few technical things like organization hierarchy, cloud IAM, all of that, right? Yes, all of that, right? Now, I also talked about Symbol Superstore, which is one of the artificial or imaginary company in which we are going to think ourselves as an associate cloud engineer, and whatever setup they want to do with respect to migration. Okay, migration from on premises to Google Cloud. So this is what we are going to do. Okay. So our module 1 is about setting up the cloud solution environment. Okay. Someone has raised the hand. So can you please write on the chat what you want to say? One quick question: how can we get the recording all the session? I missed the last one. Yes, so one welcome email must you have got. You will get all the recording and drive link and this deck that I am discussing. Everything will be there. Okay. Okay. Perfect, guys. What was the action item for us in first class? Okay, so once I am done, Shaunak will help you with that. Okay. Shaunak, can you take this right now only? Because I have not started my session. Action item for them.
Okay, Alok, you mean the learning plan, like the whole about the whole session, or just the first one?
No, just like after the class, because due to our office work or something, we forget. So if you send us like just a bullet point, what we need to do in the whole week, and
Hmm.
what is our object means, what should we achieve, and what do we either we have to attend the lab or we have to perform anything like that. Just a kind of you can say homework kind of things,
So
so that we can every so that
every
week we
every
will complete
session
it.
every session which we are doing is recorded and uploaded in the drive, and
Yeah.
also the learning plan which you are asking for is also uploaded in the resources folder. You can go and check it out, and also just after each session we are sending an email where we have all the links for the drive, the online community, and the learning plan, so you will get all of it in the email itself.
Okay. Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you, Sonu.
Yeah.
Okay. Bye. Yeah. Thank you.
Yes, Minu, you can continue.
Yes, yes. Okay, thank you. One more question is there stuck related to lab, enable lab related issue. Yeah, so Shaunak will reply you guys. Have some patience. He will do that. Okay, don't worry. Okay, let's get started with agenda for today's session. Now, first, as I said, we are going to work on Simple Superstore, setting their environment. What are the first step that as an associate cloud engineer you have to do? Maybe you have to discuss with your team, with do different kind of plannings, all of that. So, planning related, discussions related activity we will be doing at the very first. Okay, then we will see compute engine, persistent disk. These are the two things very important. Now compute engine is one of the most important service, very important topic for exam perspective. You can see a couple of questions from there. Okay, and definitely very important with respect to exam, with respect to real time project. Okay, and inside that we have persistent disk also. So these are the two things we will discuss. Then we will do a small quiz. Then data proc, data flow. Now data proc and data flow are not extremely important, but a little bit of just understanding of these two services will definitely be great. Okay, and then if time permits we will do some diagnostic question. Now these diagnostic question are exam like questions. Okay, the question and the quiz question that I will discuss, which is here, they are only for your preparation, only for your understanding, not really exam like questions. Okay, these quiz questions, but diagnostic questions are their complexity level is also high, so they are exam like questions. So that's why we are going to do, and I urge all of you to do this whenever you get your whenever this deck will be uploaded. Try to do all the diagnostic questions. Okay, now first I am starting with setting up my Symbol Superstore. As I already mentioned, we are helping them in planning to migrate their on-premises infrastructure to Google Cloud. Okay, so what is your role? They You have to understand in starting the implementation of cloud infrastructure. You can see you have been assigned a team. They will help you in this phase, right? So right now the team has initiated their journey with planning and meeting to decide Symbol Superstore cloud structure to be organized. Okay, first how their structure is going to be. So you and your team are sitting together and doing the overall planning. Okay, what will the outcome of this phase? Outcome is this phase is planning for your migration journey, understanding about like very first thing that you have to think of is a resource hierarchy. Like when my symbol superstore will be migrated to cloud, what resource hierarchy it will have, what kind of organization policies I will be implementing, how I will manage the project, managing the quota, and managing different users and group as well. Okay, so these are the things. And then applying access management. So there are a lot of things that you have to do at the very first go. So this is your whole planning. And of course, you also have to set up the billing and monitoring of your cloud resources and what how you will consider these things. Okay, so you can see here cloud project account, managing billing, installing and configuration, CLI, command line interface. Okay, finally, you will choose how exactly you want to interact with your cloud in like this is also one of the very important decision, like whether you are going to use some commands or you are normally using a graphical cloud console. Okay, so these are the very starting discussions that you are doing with your team members right now. Okay, now, a cloud identity and access management. Okay, in the last session, I gave you a little bit of definition for cloud identity. Now, we'll do a little bit more. Now, here you can see IAM lets the administrator authorize who can take action and on which resources. Okay, so this is the main understanding of cloud IAM. Okay, so who as in us can take action, like what kind of action and on which resources. So this is your cloud identity. Now let's understand this with respect to symbol superstore. Okay, so till now you are able to understand that there are different type of application symbol superstore is having. They have e-commerce, transportation, supply chain, right? So there will be different kind of users that are involved in different kind of resources, right? Like for example, there is a data analyst from the marketing team who needs to access some historic data in the e-commerce system. So from a marketing team to e-commerce. So this is a great use case in which data analysts want to access some other team members. Okay, here we have BigQuery data set in which it is a warehouse and it stores all the historic data. So it means this data analyst person has to do something with BigQuery service. Okay. However, about giving a proper access. Now we don't know whether we want to give any editor kind of role or any viewer kind of role. Okay. So Google always tell you that you first go for the most granular access. Okay. Give them the least access. If the work is done with the help of that, then that is great. If not, then give further more access. Like if you are able to do some activity with viewer role, then fine. If not, editor role. Now, this data analyst team first has to create a data analyst group. Okay, because Google also recommend you that do not give single access to any person, rather you assign that person to the group and then give some access to the group altogether. Okay, so first we will create a data analyst group, then data analyst group needs to have the data needs to have the access for the data set or the table inside the BigQuery. Okay, so we can think of BigQuery viewer role. Okay, data viewer role, that is at a proper level, because right now they are just viewing the resources, they are not executing any query like that. Okay, and inside BigQuery, you everything that you run, all these queries, they are executable job. Okay, so to submit these query, the data analyst also needs to have some job create or editor kind of role. Okay, so they have to create their jobs. It means they have to create some query. So we can give this create permission also to this person. Okay, so this way I can first create a group, then assign some least privilege role, and then give some additional roles if required. So as a cloud engineer, you have to manage these users and group. Okay, so understood all of you how we can assign some roles to the person, like what are the factors you have to take care. Some thumbs up, thumbs down. Okay, perfect. Okay, so first is granular access, and then you have to think of Google recommended practice of least privilege. Yes, yes, go on. Who has raised the hand? Okay, okay, perfect. Now, guys, if there is any queries while I'm explaining something, you can write on the chat. Okay, once I'm done with the explanation, I will take that from there. Okay, perfect. Now, here you can see there are three types of cloud IAM roles and permissions. Okay. Now, basic, predefined, and custom. Okay. So these are the three kind of role that you have to understand, and according to that you have to give, and you also have to see whether you have to first approach basic role or predefined or custom role. Okay. So anyone has any idea what kind of role are basic role? Anyone? You can write on the chat also. View, okay. Okay, viewer is a basic role. Yes. Viewer, edit. Yes. Edit means editor. Yes. So you understood from these examples that you can see on the chat. So these are the broader level role. Okay, very broader. It does not really define you're talking about which resources. Okay, or which services, because viewer means what you will view. You will view entire GCP resources and different services. Okay, editor means what? Like a broader level. Yes, broader level editor role. So it includes owner, editor, viewer role that are there at a very broader level. So you have to be very mindful when you give these roles to any person. Okay. One another role is there along with viewer, that is a browser role. So can anyone tell me what is the difference between a browser and a viewer role? Both of them are viewer kind of role. Anyone on the chat? Browser can list the resources, viewer can view the details. Absolutely correct. So browser can see the, what kind of resource hierarchy are there, what are the different resource, like they don't see the inside the resources, they just see the overall picture, but viewer can see inside the details. So yes, Dan has answered, very well answered. So these are some of the basic role, and these are the least, like least one whenever you want to opt for one. Okay, now another one you can see is predefined or custom rules. Okay, now they are both predefined and custom. Both of them are very granular access at a very specific service, very specific level. Okay, the only difference is predefined is managed by Google and custom roles are created and managed by the user. Okay, both of them are custom roles, but predefined are the one that are already created by Google. So you, whenever you think of working on these three type of cloud IAM permission, first you have to think that whether whatever what I'm trying to have, first I will check whether it is there in predefined roles or not. If predefined role has required permission that I want, then I will go ahead with that. If not, then I will create some custom roles by myself, then assign that role to the person. And lastly, we will go for basic roles. Okay, because those are the very broader level access, and we don't want to give any broader level access. Okay, so understood about these three: basic, predefined, and custom, all of you? Okay, perfect. Now here you can see we are talking about basic roles, like owner, editor, viewer. So if you are a viewer, yes, go ahead. Okay, yes. So if you are a viewer given on any resource, you can just examine the resource. You cannot change anything. You can't change the state of the resource. So that is a viewer role. And then their editor, you can do everything a viewer can do, plus you can change the state, you can edit the resources. And then you are a owner role, you can do everything an editor can do, Plus you can manage the roles and permission of the resources. Okay, assignment of different like people, all of that, management and administration related activity. Okay, so these are the three like basic roles. Okay, now another role is also associated here, you can see, is a billing administrator. Okay, so there is a small catch. Now the owner on any project can do the like all these administration work, right? You can set up the billing on all of that. That is included in owner role. But often companies want someone to be able to control the billing of the project without changing the state of the resources. Okay, that's why they grant someone a billing administrator role. So they don't want the billing administrator to work on management of resources plus edit of the resources. Okay, so yeah, normal way there are three roles, but another one that is created by these companies are a billing administrator. Okay, now another thing you can see here is interacting with Google Cloud. As I said just while we were discussing agenda, that you should also think how you can interact with cloud. So as an IT administrator, you have to set up how you can do it. Now here you can see that there are four ways. Okay, you can also go with combination of all those things. Okay, all these different ways. Now, third and fourth one, if you look at, they are basically for this for iOS and Android people. They want to work on that. This is for REST API to build custom application. But for you as a cloud engineer, can the owner be the billing administrator privilege? Yes, owner will have the billing administrator privilege. They already have. They can change the state also. They can manage these permissions and billing related activity also. Okay, it's just that companies want it to be a separate people. Owner is the different one, billing administrator can be different, but both of them combined is the owner role. Okay, yes. Now coming to this interaction, now you have to either go with Google Cloud Console, and you can also go with command line interface and combination of both. So you should know how to interact with cloud. Okay, and especially with respect to the command line interface. Okay, because in command line interface you will have to write different commands, and with the help of that also you can create your instances, you can do anything like that. Okay, okay, I hope with respect to symbol superstore we can clear we are clear. Can we transfer the owner role to another role? Transfer as in, like, transfer means what? You want to transfer the owner role to another role, another owner. Yes, I think you can do that, but you also need to have that kind of privilege to do these activities. Okay, okay guys, now with respect to a symbol superstore, we right now, we are clear. Now let's deep dive into one of the main technical topic for this week, which is Google Virtual Machine or Google Compute Engine. Okay, so from exam perspective, the 2-3 questions can come, or 1 or 2 questions depending upon them. They are very heavily tested and one of the like most important one. Okay, so let's do that. I don't have access to the Google group. Nice. Yes, there's a form that you have to fill. Okay, after that you will have access to it. Okay, now in this particular slide you can see here that it says where should I run my stuff, and these are the options that are there. Okay, now first of all, why I'm discussing about this before compute engine, because in your exam you are expected to choose the most optimal compute environment to deploy your workload. Okay, optimal means based on your situation, based on the criteria, requirement, constraint, you have to choose which one you want to go for. And these criteria can be anything. They can be ease of use, they can be event driven application, they can be cost specific, they can be specific operating system, specific machine configuration, all these things. Okay, so that is why this particular slide will help you make very quick decisions related to whatever constraint or requirement is given to you. Okay, so like for example, you want to go for a container based application. Okay, so if you want to go for, then which one you will choose? You can choose between compute Google Cloud Run and GKE. Okay, so these are the two specific services for container based. For event driven, we have Cloud Function. Okay, if you're not very experienced with the infrastructure, you don't know about it, and you are kind of developer, you want to focus on the code, right? Then you can go for App Engine, right? So this way you will get those challenging question, and you have to find the most optimal answer. Because if I just say that I want to deploy my application, that's it, then you can say that you can go for Compute Engine, Kubernetes, Cloud Run, App Engine. So answer will, there will be more than one correct answer. Multiple correct answer will be there, but you have to choose which one is more optimal. Okay, so that is why this particular slide will help you do that. Okay, I hope you are clear with this particular slide. Okay, perfect. Now here, starting with Compute Engine. So let me just open my Compute Engine first. So here I will find my Compute Engine. You can search over here also in the very top. Now here you will find the list of associated tools and features, activities along with the Compute Engine. I will create instance now, and you can see that I will give name, region, zone, machine type, then advanced configuration, CPU ratio, then operating system, then data protection. So basically we are creating a virtual machine for ourselves. Okay, so suppose I have a Mac OS and I want a Windows operating system or Linux, then I can go to Compute Engine and create my desired uh, uh, virtual machine with the desired operating system. Okay, so this way you can see here you have to give a lot of options and you have to choose from that. So it is an infrastructure as a service. All these infrastructure related activities you have to choose by yourself and then manage it by yourself. So this is your Compute Engine, all of you. Okay, you get to choose everything inside that. Now you have created your virtual machine and it is working very fine, but that is not the only thing associated with this. Okay, you should also know how to troubleshoot your virtual machine if it is not booting up, it is not starting up, any kind of issue is coming. Okay, so this particular document will come handy to you to understand how you can work with your VM if it is not booting. Desired commands are given, you can just copy and paste and run that command. Okay, so this is also one important thing when it comes to Compute Engine, understanding about your virtual machine. Okay, why it is failing, if there is some persistent disk that are attached, then it is full, then you can detach the disk from the failed VM and do further activities. Okay, this is one thing. Another thing, let me go to this, and you can see here I get to choose public image, I get to choose custom image. Okay, now what do you think, guys? Which one I should go for? All of you, custom. One answer is custom, public. Depends upon the requirement. Yes, absolutely correct. So see, it will completely depend upon my environment. Okay, what kind of image I want to choose. Okay, whether I want to just go for public one. Okay, see, someone has said what are images. You can see here public images are basically operating system. Okay, all these operating systems are there listed over here. You can choose whatever already created for you and you want to just choose it, and whatever version you want. Suppose Windows Server, then these are the versions, and according to that what boot size I want. If custom, then I want to create my own. Now some of you have said custom, some of you said public, some of you said depends upon environment. So yes, absolutely correct, this will completely depend upon that. Custom image would run faster, but you need to bake it, you need to manage the life cycle of this image. Okay, but public image are already there for you, so you can just use it. Okay, so public image, custom image, everything is in your hand. In case of custom image, you have to take full control of the script. You have to bake them. You are with a single multiple project. You need to have people who are specialized in keeping track of the life cycle of the images. You have to create, deprecate, delete. So that means that you are going to put some extra effort in the custom image, right? And that is why, if it is you prefer, then you go for that. Okay, but again, if there is some startup company who don't want to spend so much time doing this configuration thing, okay, and they don't have a specialized team, so that for them public image will be more managed one. Okay, so they can go for public image. I hope this is clear to all of you. Any question? How do you know what operating system that suits one need and difference between? See, it is completely dependent upon your need. It's not that this will suit me, that will suit me. If I'm comfortable with whatever operating system, I can go for. It's just like, like it is, for example, you have different browsers. Whichever browser you want to choose, you can choose. Everyone will give same result, but you are comfortable with which one. So that's where you choose which operating system you want. And sometime when you're working for a company, they have a very specific requirement and you have to adhere to that. Okay, so this way you have to choose what kind of image you want to go for. Okay, another thing along with image are startup script, guys. Anyone has any idea what is this startup script? Script that run after container has started. Okay, script that run after just after boot, command run when the boot. Okay, run the application at initial, creating the instance, script to automate some task, metadata, bootstrapping. So a startup script is a file that contains the command that run when a virtual machine boots. Okay, so that is your startup script. Okay, all of you. Script that set up the environment instance is created. Yes, absolutely correct. So these are some things, like some of the things that you should do. Okay, now another is PD images, snapshot, VM images. Okay, three things. So PD images are used to create and manage the persistent disk, okay, which are stored devices for your virtual machine. You just now saw when we selected the operating system, the public image part, you have to give PD images also. And then there is a snapshot. Just understand snapshot as a screenshot. Okay, it copies the persistent disk at a very specific amount of time, and primarily it is used for any kind of backup and disaster recovery. Okay, so if you are working on some mission critical, very important application, then you can create different snapshot at different point of time, and it can be used as a backup whenever there is some issues that happens. Okay, I hope it is clear. Now VM images, image of your VM. Okay, so it encapsulate entire virtual machine. Okay, everything related to virtual machine, like operating system configuration, machine configuration, everything related to that. Okay, so these are the things that you need to have understand with respect to your compute engine. Okay, and other things you can just go here. It is a very vast topic, so I request all of you, so whenever you get some time, just open your console, just search compute engine, come to all these different points here. Okay, like VM images, instant template, sole tenant node, machine images, all these uh, different options. Okay, okay, so that was for your compute engine. Now here you can see how you can differentiate between these families, how you can choose which family you do you want. Now family means, first of all, let me open this. Here in the very beginning page, okay, you can see name, region, zone. Next thing you can see, these are the machine types, okay, or you can say machine families. Now depending upon your use, the description is given. For E2, low cost day-to-day computing. For N2, you can see balanced price performance, and for flexible cost optimized, how many CPU will be given, memory and platform. And in the right hand side, you will see the associated uh, monthly estimate if you choose this one. Okay, so this is for general purpose, this is for compute optimized, and you can see performance intensive, high performance per core. Then memory, okay, when you have some databases kind of activity, some a huge memory kind of thing. Then you have storage, and then you have this gaming, graphical, all these things in which you have to run some application and gaming and all those things. So there are different kind of machine configuration that you have to choose, and everything is listed here in a very proper way. So as per your business requirement, try to start from the business requirement and translate that into technical terms. This is what exactly expected from you. Okay, try to understand the use case first, read their business case scenario, try to frame what kind of service will best suit, and then you can choose the exact amount of service. Okay, now everything is given here, very self-explanatory. But yeah, see, a cost optimized general purpose, this is what I was just showing over here. Okay, all of you, so they are different things. Now another thing you can see here, that compute engine max shape by machine types. So don't forget about custom machine. Okay, this is also one of the thing that we have. Now whenever I'm not sure what service, what specific size. Now there are two sizes given to me, but one is less for me, one is more for me. Okay, so for the less one I will not be able to perform, for the more one I will be paying extra. So basically I am somewhere in between. Okay, so there comes custom images in which you can give exact amount of size that you want to give. Okay, here you can see in the here you get this custom option. Okay, so apart from this one, you can also choose custom, in which you are somewhere in between the CPU and the storage machine configuration. Okay, any question before we move to this slide? I think there's no question on the chat. Anyone? Okay. Now here you can see this particular slide is pretty much loaded. Okay. So this is basically like very useful with respect to network perspective. Okay. Now, first of all, we are not network engineers, so we don't have to go much detail on how these networking aspect work with compute engine. Okay. But few things we can integrate while we are working and creating a virtual machine, then it will help us in better network performance. Okay, now first of all, let me read this for all of you. Okay, the first one say network performance is limited. It is depending upon the vCPU count up to 32 Gbps for N2 plus tier 1 extents. Now what does this mean? This means that if you select N2 type of machine family, then highest outbound network traffic you will get is 32 Gbps. But if you want to increase that outbound traffic, you can enable tier 1, and it will help you to increase your egress bandwidth or outgoing bandwidth to 100 Gbps. Okay, now here first I will do is and select N2 type. Okay, and in this preset you can see right now the first one is selected, which is standard 2. Okay, now if I go to networking, you can see maximum network outbound traffic I'm getting is 10 Gbps. Okay, now as I keep on increasing, it can increase. Now I'm selecting 16 right now. Okay, you can see here now this is increased to 32 Gbps. Now as per the statement, it will not go beyond 32. Now, even if I take it to the largest one, to standard 128, it is still 32 Gbps only. Okay, but if I enable this, then my maximum outbound network can be 100. Okay, so just understanding about how you can increase the performance, this is one such thing that you can do. Okay, so this is first thing. Now, next you can see here, you can expect the best network traffic performance within the same zone using internal IP addresses. Okay. Now, here you can see my network interface is given. I will just expand that. And I want to first know from all of you, what do you think, guys? How many IP addresses are like they're mandatory? You need to have at least this much amount of IP address. Anyone? What? One minimum one IP is required. One and two. Okay. Now here. Okay. So one and two. Here you can see primary IP is given. Then I can choose automatic custom. Okay. I can also reserve. Now it means that internal primary IP, I'm not getting that option of none. Okay. So I have to select internal IP. But here alias IP, this is optional because it is not added. I can add it. External one, you can see I'm getting this option of none. So it means that you need to have at least one IP address to work on it. Okay. More than one can be like according to your need. You can have alias IP, you can have external IP when you want to expose it to the internet. But yes, minimum one is required. Okay. And alias, talking about alias IP, basically used for Kubernetes, in which Kubernetes has different pod, and these pod has been assigned to different IP address. So all these pod will get their own IP address. Okay, so that is the different story. But in a normal scenario, if I say at least one IP address you need to have. Okay. Now here you can see this one, I did not add it, it was automatically added. So one network interface is added to me. I can click on add a network interface, another time add a network interface. So here also we can see we should have at least one network interface, right? And 99% of the time we have only one only. Multiple network interface we use when we have that kind of environment, when you have to deploy the enterprise level workload and you want to deploy some kind of hub and spoke network, and due to some security compliance you don't want to directly interact with the network interface. But coming to the minimum one, yes, minimum should be one default network interface and one internal IP address. Okay, all of you. Let me just share. Okay, yes. So these are some things that are associated with compute engine. This is hub and spoke network that I was talking. So this on-premise is talking to a shared VPC, and
I have two questions. Can I ask now?
Yeah, go ahead.
On the bandwidth part, so you said depending on the vCPU, we said the accordingly, the bandwidth also gets aligned, right? In the sense, allocated. So if if I'm trying to upgrade it to the next tier, it will give me, for example, 8 vCPU will give me a third Gbps of bandwidth, but then with the next tier, I can go to 100 Gbps. Is it I'm going to get 100 Gbps, or in between also I can choose, for example, I require a 60 GB bandwidth for that 8 vCPU system?
I don't think you can choose that because
Okay.
I'm not getting that option here. So I think you cannot. Okay.
Okay. So that is fixed, right? And the 100 Gbps is fixed. So I can't choose between.
It says maximum of 100. So maybe you will get, below.
So it is configurable. Yeah.
Yes. So I think according to your network, it will vary, but maximum it will give till here.
Okay, that is the upper limit. And this bandwidth is for what? For a compute engine to, go out to the internet or to the private channel to the data center?
Yes, basically interact like outbound traffic. It can be if it is publicly accessible, then for internet. If you have, if it is internally accessible to different team, then internally. But yes, anything related to outbound.
Okay, anything related to the outbound. Even I have a private channel to the data center, my private data center. So this bandwidth includes that also?
Yes, anything. It is not specifying on that.
Okay, cool. And second thing is you selected an additional network card, right? interface. So there,
uh,
like, I think I saw like if
okay,
I need
this one.
multiple interfaces, so there
Yes.
I see something called like a premium and standard. What's the difference between those two?
Where is that? Okay, this one,
Network type.
network
Yep.
service here. So
Service type.
premium.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Okay, so it says that traffic travers Google high quality backbone, and then there is standard that is 200 Gbps. So basically, just like tier. Okay, so
Okay.
yeah,
Okay. Good. Thanks. Thank you very much.
okay. Now, another thing, now understood about these two. Now here you can see storage network devices. Okay, now persistent disk is also one such thing that I want to talk about. So basically they are network devices. They are not a physical device like a local SSD, sorry. Okay, so they also consume some increased bandwidth. As you know, when you write something on the disk, so they also consume some bandwidth. So Google always make sure that these persistent disks consume 60% of the egress limit, okay, consumed in the disk, so that whatever disk activity you are doing, they are not impacted by the network traffic. Okay, so understand about persistent disk as a network device, not as a physical device. Okay, so this is a few things related to your networking aspect. Okay, I hope this is clear. So these are not all the things. Definitely it is a very vast topic, but yeah, few here and there topics that I wanted to discuss with respect to this one. Okay, so local SSD are attached to your virtual machine, right? And they are idle for a normal scenario like temporary storage or any input output low latency kind of thing. But persistent disk are, they are more durable, they are network attached, they can be used for boot disk and all general purpose and high level activities. Okay, so it depends upon you whether you want to choose which one. Okay, so these are the things I wanted to discuss. Next is, you can see here, is metadata server. Now metadata means that data inside a data. Okay, so these virtual machine, they store all the data about their self, like their name, their address, their disk, machine configuration, operating system, everything. So you can just think like a knowledge repository in which all these virtual machines save the information about themselves. Okay, now next topic is very important with respect to cost optimization. Okay, whenever you think that you want to optimize the cost, then this is one such option that you have in compute engine. Okay, which is spot VM and preemptible VM. Okay, now spot means on the spot. Okay, now you can see here that they are 91% cheaper than a regular virtual machine. Okay, but maximum time that they are available or their duration is 24 hours. Okay, and you will be given 30 seconds of notice period before it will be terminated. Okay, so you can use this in any sort of application. So you have to also focus on, if it is cost optimization situation, and you can have this kind of VMs, then you can suggest your developer, you can suggest to your team that you can go for this one. Okay, now understood all of you about the definition of preemptible and spot VM. So in short, Google give you this in a fraction of prices. Okay, now why they give you, you can say that these virtual machines are normally sitting idle. Okay, and anyways they are not getting any money for that. So if they are sitting idle, then why not give it to you and you do your activity and you return that in 24 hours, and after that it will be given to some other person who want to give full amount of money for that virtual machine. Okay, so this is used whenever you, it is cost optimization, but you also have to think what kind of application you are running. Your application has to be fault tolerant. Okay, because if it is taken away from you, then your work should not be hampered. It should handle such events very gracefully. Okay, now what do you think, where can we use this? If I'm talking about fault tolerant, then maybe you can say that you can use this in all the activities, but I would suggest that use this as a catalyst. Okay, in every kind of application you have a virtual machine. Okay, and you want to increase the the efficiency of it. That time, yes, some answers are getting the testing the application, Will the data be deleted and it will be recovered? I think it will not be recovered. So use this as a catalyst. You have a virtual machine, you want to just add 10 more preemptible one, work on it and then give it back. Or if you want to do some activity which is only for some hours, 4 or 5 hours overnight, then you can think of it like a spot VM, and you pay 91% cheaper. So yes, definitely that is it. Okay, mostly developer VM for development.
Even if I'm using it for continuously, this is kind of a VMs. It will long last only for 24 hours. Is that the one like which you're telling?
I did not understand the first line.
So I said I start making use of the spot VMs and
Hmm.
then continuously, right? I mean, because I have a lot of computational tasks to be done. So in that way, it will long last for 24 hours and it will shut down on itself.
24 hours is the maximum it will be available.
Okay, it will die on itself
It will
later.
die. It will be, and
Okay,
you will get this 30-second of notice before
that's
it
all.
will be terminated.
Okay, but if I want more computation, spot VMs, will it be retained or some new spot VMs will get spinned?
I think some new will be spinned because this will already be, you have certain duration for this one. So
Okay,
definitely this
so
will not be repeated. Yes.
okay, so it will not anyway interrupt my work. It will be continuous, right? So that's what I'm
Yes.
going to check. Okay, yeah, thanks.
Okay. So understood guys about this one. You can, according to your use, you can use this. Now another thing is a sole tenant node, which you can say is the opposite of preemptible one. So sole means you are the sole tenant. Okay, you are the only customer getting this dedicated hardware to deploy a virtual machine. Okay, it is used definitely if you are a sole person, then definitely you have this dedicated one, and that's why it is a little bit on a costlier side. But sometimes some companies have these things for their security and compliance model. According to their regulation, they want to have a sole dedicated hardware in which they are the only person who are working on this one. So this is the opposite of preemptible VM. Okay, now another thing you can see is a manage instance group. Now this is also one of the most important topic with respect to compute engine. Now manage instance group is managing all the instances which have similar configuration. Okay, similar configuration. So basically normally we have, just like a team lead who manages their team members. Okay, so with the help of this you manage all the virtual machine which have same configuration. And managing means whenever it is your application is deployed, then auto healing, auto scaling, increasing the availability of your workload depending upon the traffic, all these things are taken care with manage instance group plus load balancer. Okay, now I think in your learning plan you have some labs related to this, so make sure that you do those labs also. Okay, so manage instance group and unmanaged instance group. So manage is for same configuration virtual machines. Okay, now auto healing, auto scaling, I hope you all understood. Auto healing means if there is a unresponsive virtual machine, then you can replace it with a new one. Okay, auto scaling means dynamically increase and decrease the virtual machine as per the risk, as per the traffic. Okay, so all these things, MIG with load balancer, they work together for this one. Okay, any confusion before we move to next slide? Can we have two spot VM and renew them with automation, use them indefinitely by spinning new instances as one die? So honestly, I have not checked that, but I will check that and then I'll come back. Okay. So I have not checked that, but I can guess that can we have two spot VM and renew them with automation? I'm not really sure about it. Okay. What do you think, guys, for this question? Anyone who has tried this or been in this situation? It is possible. Okay. It is possible. So one response I've got. So yes, I think then it is possible. So I have not tried myself, so I can't give you any confirmation on that. Okay. Now, another thing you can see is a stateful and stateless. Okay. This is also one of the like thing that you have to know, because your different services, some of them can be stateful, some of them can be stateless, now depending upon your use. Now, when the workload will increase, okay, that time stateful and stateless both will scale up to 10 or 100 or 14, 15 virtual machine. It is very easy for them. But to scale down, it is easy for a stateless one. Okay, but it is not easy to scale down when it is a stateful one, because stateful one is maintaining the state of the application. Okay. Now, one example of stateful and stateless is Cloud Run is stateless, and Kubernetes is stateful. Okay, so it contains the state of the information. Now, it's not that this is stateless is preferred, stateful is not preferred. It can completely depend upon the kind of environment that you're working, the kind of application you're working. Okay. Now, can anyone give me some small example of stateful and stateless application? So let's go with stateless first. Anyone? Just random guess. Application that consume API that are hosted in cloud function APIs. Any example of that application? Like any, what kind, like any example? App engine is stateless. Like I'm talking about example as in, can I say that there are some front end server, we are requesting some information and they are not storing our data, they are just giving some information like a search engine kind of thing, or you can say like a normal calculator thing. Video chat, okay. Search engine, yes. Server that hosts static website, Kibana log, which is stateless gateway, yes. So it is not storing the user's information, so normally it is preferred, but yes, one of the example. Now, what about stateful one, guys? So any kind of application that store the user data, databases, web apps, GK, yeah, these are with respect to GK, yes. E-commerce site, yes, absolutely correct. You can say shopping cart, in which there's an online store, user add item to the cart, goes to the next page, add their credit card information. If it is added, then it is already showing banking application. So anything in which the user data is also stored. Okay, so these are the two type of applications, stateful and stateless. Okay. Now, next thing you can see is unmanaged instance group. As I said, that unmanaged is for managing the virtual machines which have different configurations. Okay, but they are inside a same VPC area, they are same VPC or same region or same project. It can be anything like that. Okay, so unmanaged instance group have different kind of instances, normally not a cloud native way, but if you have, then you can create a unmanaged instance group also. Okay, if you have some monolithic application or something like that, you can do it. You want to lift and shift migration, then also you can do it. So these are the two type of instance group. Okay, now when we're talking about MIG, which is managed instance group, then with respect to auto scaling, what are the factors that they will consider when they want to auto scale? Okay, so you can see here that these are the different factors, for example, based on CPU or based on this one, external capacity, anything like that. You should include some cooling period. You should include some time in which they can think whether they want to add the virtual machine or remove the virtual machine, all these things or not. So all these are a set of parameters that you would adjust depending upon the application characteristics. Okay, next topic here is updating the MIG. So updating your managed instance group. Now nothing is static. Okay, especially in this public cloud, nothing is static. So As the time goes by, maybe in future you want to update your managed instance group. Maybe you want to roll out some new VM template or anything related to your application, then you can do that also. So here you will find one document in the bottom that will help out to roll out new versions of your MIG. So make sure that you go through this one to understand about different rollout, canary release, if you want to roll back to the previous one, everything related to updating your MIG is given over here. Okay. Okay, so I think we are done with compute engine discussion. Anyone has any confusion? Okay, these are not definitely not all the topic that we discussed, but I would recommend to go back to your console and just search about everything related to compute engine over here. Okay. Okay, now this is a pictorial overview for your understanding. What is MIG? Please repeat. MIG is Managed Instance Group. Okay. When you have a lot of virtual machine, tens and thousands, then you have to manage them also. Okay. And these virtual machine have similar configuration. If they have same configuration of virtual machine, then you want to manage it. You have managed instance group, and it will help you in doing different activities like auto scaling, auto healing, all these things, CPU usage, understanding about that. So basically management of the virtual machine. Okay, virtual machine is created, it is used, now you have to manage it also. Okay, can we mirror data of one spot VM to another? I think no, but not really. But what do you guys think? Can we mirror the data? I think it is no. Anyone think that we can mirror the data of one spot VM to another? Or anyone has tried that? No? Yes, I think it is no. Okay. By data, I mean like a snapshot, including data in the profile. Snapshots you can create for your normal virtual machine, that I know. But for this one, I have not tried with Spot VM. I've never actually gone detail into Spot VM. So yes, I will still check and get back to you. Okay. Okay guys, now we are done with our compute engine. Let's do one or two normal questions and then we will look at some other discussions also. Let me first increase this for all of you. Okay, let's start with the first one. So now I will take a pause and you all have to help me with these questions. Okay, so first one you can see over here. Infrastructure as a service. All of you? Yes. Why we are choosing this one? Because you can see here maintaining the operating system. Okay. So it will be infrastructure as a service. Okay. Perfect, guys. Very well answered, all of you. Okay. Is next one this? Which operating system model a customer responsible only for the data and privilege management? Software as a service, platform as a service. Okay, now some of you are saying software, some are saying a platform. Okay, so if this is platform as a service, then what is this, guys? Anyone? Let me reduce it. Yes. Understood? For all the people who said that if for this one it is platform as a service. Now here, which operating system model customer is responsible only for the data? Software as a service. Okay. Now here, customer responsible for installing and maintaining the application. So application related thing you are doing. Application means your coding related activity you are doing. Then here you can say it is platform as a service. Okay. In software as a service, you are not even responsible for the application. You can just think of this like a Google Meet in which we all are talking, we are discussing. So we are not responsible for this application, right? I am responsible for myself. I am coming here, giving my data, discussing all these discussions, and then that's it. So I'm not even responsible for the data, for the application also. I hope this is clear for all the people who said that this is platform as a service. Okay, perfect. Now, one very important one I want to talk. Yes, this is what I wanted to talk. Very important question. What are the example of global GCP resources? Okay. What do you mean by data? You mean backup of the data? Data, I mean a normal like data, any kind of data, like for example, customer data or any inventory data, those kind of data.
No, I mean software as a service. The data need to be, because the data is, we are entering the data. So who's responsible for taking the backup of that data? Because in the platform as a service, we can take the backup of that, but in a software of the service, how can we take the backup of that data?
You are responsible for the data, that I know, but for backup of the data, I think you don't need, I mean, the software is there. If they have that kind of option, then you can create a backup, but everything related to data, you are responsible.
Because
So
in the query, because in the question they mentioned that the customer is responsible for the data. So if customer is responsible for the data, then customer has the responsibility to take the backup of the data. But in a software as a service, we can't take the backup of the data.
Software as a service, yes, normally we can't take the backup of the data. So yeah, that is absolutely correct. It depends upon what kind of software as a service you are using, but I think you don't get that option to create a backup of your data. I think you don't get that option.
So how the answer will be software as a service?
1 second, which one you are talking? You are talking about this one.
Yeah,
okay,
this one.
so here they are responsible for the data, as in if you are doing some activities and you want to do some, like for example, here I'm using Google Meet, but I'm responsible for my data. I'm not responsible for the application to work. Okay, there are many software as a service that are there. You are just using it. Okay, we are not responsible for their activities. We are coming here, giving our data, doing our work done, then going back. Okay, like Google Workspace.
Normally, normally in a software as a service, we are the customer responsible for managing the privilege management and the data what we are entering in it. But
yes,
the backup of the data, say for example in a Google Workspace, we are keeping the data there. But if something has happened, Google has a tendency to manage those data in some other data center or some other location. So we are sure that the data will be recovered from some other data center. But so I agree that will be the, but in this case, that software as a service here. So I just want to know, okay, what's the difference, actually difference, because PaaS is something which allow you to access your data and take the backup. But in a software as a service, we are not allowed to take the backup of the data.
Yeah, but it will be like backup should be taken care by the provider, right? And we are here to give the data, and I think backup should be taken care by them, because they are the software as a service model, so they will work on that. We will provide the data.
Agree. So the question is not clearly interpreting that
framed.
Customer is responsible only the data.
Okay, you are saying that.
Yeah.
Okay. Someone has said in SaaS we can take a backup. Okay. Okay, so I'll check that part, and I will also try to reframe this one. I think you are understanding customer responsible only for the data means providing the data and keeping the backup also, right?
Yeah, because I
That's
choose
what.
PaaS. That's yeah. Because I choose PaaS because of the responsible only for the customer responsible only for the data. So this statement lead
Okay,
me to the
conflict.
section of PaaS. Yeah.
Okay, okay. No worries. I will still check that particular part. Who will be responsible for the backup of the data? Okay, I will try to just check on that more and we'll come back on the next session. Okay.
Okay. Thank you. Thank you.
Someone has given some answers. I saw some answer on the chat. Load balancer and VPC. All of you, tell me there are two resources which are global. Anyone else? Bucket. And don't get confused between multi-regional and global. Okay, so when I say global, it means completely global, not multi-regional. Okay, so I think VPC is one answer that is very common to all these responses. So can I select VPC? Okay, next is I can see bucket is also, and load balancers are also. What do you think, guys? Some confirmation on this? GCS bucket, I think they are multi-regional. Where is the bucket? SQL, okay. So I think they are multi-regional or regional. Yes, they are multi-regional, guys. So they are not global. Okay. Now I will just search for load balancer now because some of the responses I saw. So if I create a load balancer, all of you, you can see here type of load balancer, public facing, and then I see this option as global workload and regional workload. So some load balancers can be global, some of them can be regional. Okay. So we can say some load balancer over here, some load balancer plus VPC also. All of you. And please try to just check the rest of them. Anyways, these rest of them are not global, but just try to search it by yourself. Okay. Similar one, I want to talk about this one, example of regional GCP resources. Regional. MIG. Okay. MIG as in regional MIG. Okay. What next? Instances are zonal. We just now saw while you try to create an instance, you have to give the region, then you have to give the zone. Okay, so it is a zonal service, GC instances. PD, regional MIG, zonal GKE instances. No, see, it is saying zonal, so definitely we'll eliminate this one, right? Is this one regional in the name? So regional persistent disk, all of you, can we say? Yes. What else? It says actually in two, but there is one more which is regional. IP. Yes. IP addresses. Okay. Yes, absolutely correct, guys. Yes, so these are your regional resources. Now, what about this? A virtual private cloud subnet is a aren't IP global. IP are associated with subnet, and subnets are regional. That's why I would say that subnet are regional, VPC are global, and IP are associated with subnet. So I would say subnets, IP addresses are regional. Yes, they are regional. External IP is different. External means they are external IP, so they can be, but in a normal scenario, I'm talking, they are regional. Okay, this one we have already discussed, but yeah, just tell me quickly minimum number of IP addresses that we need to have. One, all of you? Yes, absolutely correct. Now, please do the rest of the other questions also. Okay, we have to discuss a little bit more topics, so I'm skipping some of the questions. Okay. Now, as I said in the beginning, cloud data proc and data flow not really required for associate cloud engineer, but just some definition. Okay, now both of them are used in the transformational part. They both are play a vital role in the ETL pipeline: extract, transform, and load. Okay, mostly used by the data engineers, but we have to know that what are the keywords that you have to think of when you're talking about data proc and data flow. Okay, now both are there for processing the surveys, processing the data, and these data can come, in a batch, or they can come via streaming. Okay, so streaming and batch data ingestion, everything. So first is your data proc. You can just think of it like a manage a Hadoop infrastructure. Okay, so if you want to migrate a Hadoop infrastructure to cloud, then you can think of it like a data proc is the best one. Okay, so they are used for that. Now, all sort of scenario it is used in which you want to do some data processing. So big data processing, real time data analytics, data logging, and some machine learning activities also. Okay, so data proc is a managed Hadoop infrastructure. Okay, so the main thing about data proc that it uses the standard Hadoop differently. It stores the external data of the cluster somewhere else and the storage part somewhere else. So compute and storage are differentiated from each other. Okay, so you can see here that HDFS type is uses cloud storage, and edge based type uses cloud big table. Okay, so that is about your data proc. We will not go into detail because they are not very important as per your like associate cloud engineer. Okay, next one is data flow. Okay, now this is also used for transformational part. It is fully managed scalable data processing for executing batch and streaming data process and ETL process pipelines. Okay, you can write your code in Java and Python, then you can use this one in between, and you can create a execution framework. Okay, so the same code can be run for batch and streaming data as well. Okay, now one great thing about this that you can have sources from multiple sync and output to multiple like output, and your code will remain intact in between. Okay, so this is basically used for some transformational workload. And when we will discuss on like in the next few sessions related to symbol superstore, like what kind of requirement they are having, and we will migrate it to cloud, then also if there are some data that is coming from external sources, and there are some raw data, we have to really transform that raw data into some meaningful data, then we can think of data flow as well. Okay, now this comparison is self-explanatory, so please go through them. I want to discuss few diagnostic questions, so I will just skip that. Okay, now these are some optional links related to what we have discussed. There are some readings, some videos, so make sure to understand all this topic in a deeper way. Go through all of them. Okay, any question guys before we move to diagnostic questions? In the chat I think there is no question. Anyone? Okay, perfect guys. Now let's discuss one or two questions. So I will take a pause now. Help me with the first question. Okay. Option C. Okay. Okay, I think all of you. Option number C. I think there is no confusion in that. Option C is the best practice to manage these role assignment in the group, not individual users. Okay. Yes, very well answered, all of you. I think there is no confusion in this, and all of you are going ahead with option number C. Perfect, guys. Now, coming back to the keyword, okay, you can see here charge of monitoring the instances and required permissions. So, yes, always assign a person to the group and give access to the group. Perfect, guys. Yes, this one related to the first session that we did. Option B. Okay. So I think there is no confusion in that. Perfect. You have organization, you have folder, then project, then resources. Folders are optional, but if they are there, they have to be like before project. Okay. So organization, then folder, then projects. Okay. Perfect. Perfect, guys. Okay. Next one. Option B. So which Google Cloud project attributes can be changed after the project creation? Okay. Yes, you can say that project name, they are set and created by the user. They don't have to be unique. They can be changed later on also. Okay. Perfect. Now, next one is this. Option D. Add Jane to the group that has this role and then assign it at organization level. Yes, we can see here that they need a proper permission for every project across the organization. So we can give a certain proper permission at organization level also. Okay, because all the projects are inside the organization, so we can do that as well. Okay. Yes, absolutely correct, all of you. Option D is the correct one. Perfect. Next one. Yes, this is related to what we have discussed today, and try to think of how we proceed in this kind of scenario. Option A, D, B. A and B, I think all of you are going ahead. Okay, so at least we are clear that C and D are definitely out. Okay, yes, so C and D are definitely out, guys. Those who are thinking between A and B, yes, you are almost there, but think of which is the correct one, A or B. Okay. Yes. Now, A is, you can see that grant the most restrictive basic role to most services and grant predefined one as necessary. Now, you know that basic roles are too broad, right? And they don't provide us the privilege of least, like, least privilege. That principle they are not providing us. And as I said, when I was discussing that, you have to first think that, if those privilege are there in the predefined one, then you go for that. If not, then create a custom one. If that is also not sufficient, then go for the basic roles. Okay, so grant the predefined and custom roles provided necessary permission, and then give basic roles only when it is needed. Okay, so I hope you have it's clear between A and B. Okay, and if you can think here that most restrictive basic roles, what is the most restrictive basic role? It is a browser or a viewer role, but then also your work will not be completed, and we never go for that kind of a role. Okay, it is a too broader approach. Your application or your app, this whole platform get exposed to the other person, like too much exposure. Even if it is a viewer role, then also it is too much exposure, which we don't want to give. Okay, I hope this is clear to all of you. Okay. Okay, I think we are already done on time, but let's do one or two more questions. Okay. So which two permissions? Okay, so two correct answer will be there. A and B. Okay, so there will be two correct answers. Okay, so A is common. We can say compute images list. Now, if you look at the keyword, so this is your keyword. Okay, VM usage without allowing them to make some changes. Okay, so list will definitely help me list Google Compute Engine images. So only listing, getting all the list. Yes, absolutely correct. Option A is like that is perfect. Next one is B I'm getting, which is get. Okay, so get is also a viewer role, like viewer command. You can say it returns a specific image. So we are not doing anything. We are not editing anything in the images, whatever we are getting. But create, set IM, and update will change the state of your resources. So yes, all of you are absolutely correct here. Okay. Okay, guys, I think we are already done with today's session. Please go and do some more, whatever quizzes that we could not do. Okay. Okay, one more question is left. Let's do that, and then we will wrap up this session. So this is the last question for today. So you have to pick one. Okay, two. Okay. How are billing account applied to project in Google Cloud? C plus D. Okay. C and D. So C and D are a billing account can be linked to one or more project, and D is a project and its resources can be tied to one billing account. Just think of it like your manager. Okay, you can have one manager who is responsible for all your rating and everything, but that manager can have more than one associate whom he is managing. Okay, so think of it like that. So yes, I think all of you are absolutely correct. One answer I've got is E. So every project only uses free resources. So even project uses a free resources, they have to be tied to a valid billing account, and their billing can be zero. That is absolutely correct. But they have to be tied to a billing account. They can't have a no billing account. Okay, all of you. Perfect. I think we are already done with today's session. Anyone has any technical related queries? I can see a lot of access related questions which Shaunak will take after me, but just let me know if there is any question for like technical things. Is there also a billing account attached when you use labs? No, in these labs you have got some credit and you are working with that. These billing account are associated with in real time projects. Because in lab you get a temporary student account, okay, and that will be only for that one, like 1 hour or 1.5 hour. It is you get a student account for that, and it will get vanished once the lab is over. Okay. Temporary account, okay, temporary account, yes, one billing account will be there, and you will get your monthly billing with your trial account that you create, and after that you get billed for whatever resources you are using. So even if you're not associated with any company, you will have that billing account. Assessment for today's session, yes, once the deck will be shared, you will get access to all the assessments. Okay. Okay, then guys, I think I am good. I hope you all have a great session and you understood all the technical topics that we discussed, and that we had a great discussions, I have to say, and a lot of collaborative approach also I found out, and I really like that thing. So try to keep that up in all the sessions, and hopefully I also learn a lot from your experiences. Okay, so thank you so much guys for joining in.
Thanks, Minu. I just have one point to add over here. That is, I saw a lot of questions in the chat box regarding the access. So, guys, I would like to tell you that if you have requested for the access on your personal email, then you will have to like, I have already shared all the accesses who have requested it before, like, today's session or before today. So I have already shared the accesses to those people, and for those who have requested today, I'll do it right after this session. And one thing is that if you have already requested for the access on your personal email, please try to use the drive and the community using your personal laptops, because the laptops which your company has provided or your company's system will not give you the access to your personal email address with the online community and the drive. So if you have already requested for the access, please use your personal laptop, and I think that will be fine. Like, that will give you the access on the community and the drive as well. I'm initially able to see 9 credits. I'm following the correct steps. Okay. Anupran, there is a PDF in the drive. If you could go and check, I have already shared the link for that as well. It says skills boost activation step by step. There are screenshots as well. If you are having any issues, you can check the screenshots, and then you can follow the steps and you would be receiving the 400 credits. And if not, you can get the email ID for the quick lab support, and you also have my email address, so you can definitely reach out to any one of us. I think that's yes,
Sorry.
please.
Sorry, hi Shona, Mozam here. So the same issue I'm facing, and I have also sent an email on this with the screenshot regarding this issue. So because I have the same problem that what the Anupam has shared, that showing the 9 credit but not showing the 400 credit. Even I completed the lab which you have required for complete.
Okay,
So
okay.
if you can help us.
Yes. I'll surely check it right after this session. Whoever has sent me an email, I'll check it right after this session and will give you a reply.
In case if we are having the personal email ID added, so does that mean that if we are doing the lab using our official email ID, that won't be considered, right?
Yes. If you are registered with your personal email address, then you need to log in to the GCSB profile using that same email address.
Okay, so that means initially I have used my official email ID, then added the personal email ID. Then so from now on, then I have to use only my personal email ID to get the credits and do the labs. So then
yes, that's correct. Yeah.
Okay, thanks.
So Sean, I'm
Hi,
not able
Sona.
to see that initial 9 credits when I log into the cloud skill account.
I'm sorry, I did not get your question.
I cannot see that 9 credits initially when I log into my cloud skill account.
Okay, do you already have a corporate account, like organizational license? Do you have it from your company already?
No. I switched it to personal account. I
Okay.
already got access to the drive with my personal account. That is
Mhm.
working fine, but I
Okay.
just don't see those 9 credits on login.
So are you trying to log in with your personal account now?
Yes, yes.
Okay, then I think you are not following the whole step, because whoever has tried it with their personal account also, they are receiving the credits. Only a few of them who might have missed some of the steps could, like, it could happen that you are not getting the credits. But I have added one more PDF in the drive. You can check that out. That is with the screenshots of what you need to do, and if you perform it and still not able to get the credits, you can surely reach out to me.
Sure. I'll check and update you.
Yeah, sure.
Thanks.
Yeah, hi Sonak. I have received invites for these classes, but I can't see any such mails regarding that labs and all over my official mail.
Mhm. Amit, do you have the access to the online community?
No, I tried accessing. You have shared one URL in the chat, but that is not accessible.
uh, are you trying it with your personal or corporate email address?
Uh, with my personal, I guess, because
I
it is not allowed to open in my office laptop, right?
I don't think you have filled the form for the Google access on your personal email address, so that is the reason you are not getting the access to the community.
Okay.
Yes. So, do you have the link for the form, or do you want me to
No, I
share?
don't. Yeah, requesting you to share, please.
Yeah, sure. I'm sharing it over here. You can fill this form, and then I can provide you the access on your personal email address.
Okay, means it won't work on my office mail address. You
So,
mean to say, right?
the thing is, it works on the official email addresses, but sometimes what happens is, in some companies, they do a firewall issue on anything apart from your company's apart from your company's accesses. So that's why it's recommended, if you do not have access on your company's email address, you can surely change it to the personal one, and then you can get all the accesses.
Okay, okay, sure. I'll try once.
Sonak, I just want to share one experience which I faced.
Mm-hmm.
Sometimes we will not be able to access to the form which you have shared as well. So what I did is that I forwarded that email which you have shared along with this link to my personal email ID, and then I clicked on, I mean, like then I used the form from my personal space. So that is also something few people face. So just a heads up.
Yes, yes, yes. Thank you so much for highlighting this. I saw a lot of questions regarding that as well. So that is also because of the organization policies, because they do not allow sometimes to open some links which are shared from a third party. So that might be the reason. So if that is the case, you can do exactly the same, what you mentioned, is that you can share that whole email to your personal email address, and then you can fill the form. That's completely fine.
So, Sonak, in the form itself, there is a field called email address, and the same as it, and we have
Yes.
to
So
mention
the
that
first the
means.
first column is for the corporate email address which you are using currently, and the second one is the one in which you want the access for.
Okay, okay, got it.
Okay, thank you so much, guys. I think that's all with the questions. And if you have any other questions, you can surely reach out to me via email. I'll reply it over there. Okay.